the governor and I, and we were all doing a tour of the library here, and talking about the significance of the passage of time, right? The significance of the passage of time. So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time in terms of what we need to do to lay these wires, what we need to do to create these jobs. And there is such great significance to the passage of time when we think about a day in the life of our children.
What happened? What happened? So we can only speculate. We can only speculate.
Well, let me begin the speculations.
Go.
Okay. That was a Veep-like moment. If you watch that show on HBO, it was a great, hilarious show. My best guess is that there was supposed to be a teleprompter and something went wrong with the teleprompter, and she remembered that one line, so she used it as a crutch. And a lot of these folks are coached, and Democrats and Republicans.
Just be a person. Just be a person. You were a prosecutor. Like, Kamala Harris is not a dumb person. Okay, she's not. Like, the right wing is painting her as dumb because she's had so many flubs like the one that you just watched. I don't understand what's behind it. She seems like she's off her A game for sure. I've seen her engage in a line of questioning during Senate hearings that not only was impressive, but was like a breath of fresh air. As you see the circus taking place, various hearings, whether it has to do with the Supreme Court, whether it has to do with some other sort of confirmation, she was incredibly impressive. Now, I didn't agree with her on some political issues, but overall, I would never argue that she's not a smart person. But for some reason, she keeps having these fumbles. I don't know what's going on. I want to believe that it was a teleprompter issue, but even if it was a teleprompter issue, you know how to speak. Like, get out of your own head. Just be a person.
No, they're never. Democrats aren't going to do that. Progressives will, and I'm going to tell you definitive evidence that it works in a second. But first, more on Kamala Harris. Look, she's clearly nervous. You could tell right in the beginning of that statement where she does that,
Oh my God,
right?
Disaster.
Yeah, I mean, every part of this clip's a disaster. I know it's a small thing, but if it was the only time she's done it, then you say, oh, that's wildly unfair, right? But within the context of her doing things like this over and over and over again, you begin to worry, right? My best guess is that she's nervous because every sentence and every word is dissected, right? Not just by the right wing, but also by mainstream media. And so now think about being in her shoes for a second.
I know, but it's power. She's an incredibly powerful person, right? Where if you have something to say, everyone's watching, everyone's paying attention. She's not dumb. Like, someone in the Biden administration needs to give her a damn pep talk. You know, she's had people quit in her team. There was a recent story about another aide quitting. I agree with you. I think she is nervous. I think that she's lacking confidence in this moment. There's no reason for her to lack the confidence. She needs to get out of this rut.
Yeah, and according to press reports, nobody on the Biden's giving her a pep talk. They're doing the opposite. And then of course there are people inside the White House that are scheming against her, including Pete Buttigieg. That's keep it real, okay?
So gross.
They're all angling to try to run for president if Biden doesn't, and she's been hit a lot in the press. By the way, though, all that notwithstanding, I'm not making any excuses for her. You're the vice president of the United States, okay? Let's go. Gather yourself and get out there and represent us, okay? So in this case, she uses the reputation as a crutch. It's supposed to be dramatic when you re-say the same sentence. And some people can really pull that off, but generally I hate it. It feels overly dramatic to begin with when you do it twice, but when you do it four times, it sounds absolutely ridiculous.
But it also made no sense. Like I couldn't follow what she was trying to say. And if you're referring to policy, I think she was trying to make a point about passing policy. But if you're talking about policy and you're also using passage of time 4 times in a, like not in a row, but 4 times in the same statement, it just makes me mad because all I could think about is, oh damn, you guys have been in office long enough to pass policies that actually matter. I'm now thinking about the policies that haven't passed during this passage of time, right?
Yeah, if I was the Biden administration, that is the very last talking point I would go to. But guys, definitive evidence that speaking like a human being works is Donald J. Trump.
Yes.
So the guy's an idiot and a con man. He's the least authentic person you'll ever meet. But just because he speaks like a normal human being, people mistake it for authenticity. And then they go, okay, at least he's not a scummy politician. I like him, okay?
You know what? I'm actually sick and tired of men like Donald Trump, like George Bush, like Tucker Carlson, all these guys getting the only ones, they're the only ones who are able to take the pill of unearned confidence.
Yeah,
okay,
that's right.
Give me a little of that. Not me, I have it. Hopefully a little more earned. But Kamala, go outside of the White House, okay? Get you a life coach, whatever it is, you need a pep talk. You're not a dumb person, you can do better than this.
And so you're absolutely right about the men versus women in this issue, because come on guys, let's be honest. So Sarah Palin is a dum-dum, right? But is she dumber than Donald Trump or George W. Bush? I don't think so, right? But everybody said Sarah Palin doesn't belong, she's dumb, right? And then when he came to George Bush and Donald Trump, barely a peep. Now you might say, look, a lot of people think George Bush was dumb, but the media never said it. The media said it about Sarah Palin all the time.
Yep.
But when it came to George W. Bush, they pretended to be dumb themselves. Oh, I can't see it. What do you mean he's dumb?
He was endearing.
Yeah, they would say, oh, he's so endearing. He better make these dumb jokes.
He was kind of endearing.
No, but come on, he's a dumbass. He's a dumbass. Donald Trump thought we should nuke a hurricane and that wind causes cancer. He's one of the dumbest people alive. And there's a double standard here for sure.